Hey guys, Jamie here, Real Steel. Today's video is a part 3. Yeah, I was going to go for a two-parter, like I said at the end of my last video, but it's a little too long, so yeah. I hate leaving y'all on a cliffhanger, but we should go sometimes. But anyway, hopefully on this video, we are going to finish up this thing. We're going to get it fired up, hopefully, for the first time, and get it reassembled, and then take her for a drive, hopefully, if all things work out. But so anyway, let's get started. All right, y'all, she's off the stand for the first time in at least a couple of years. Yeah, I spared y'all watching me change the flex plate and stuff like that. I also did that freeze plug. It's a good thing I did. There was some schmutz behind that freeze plug, but I'll give her a good scrubbing. Now I also, you can see where the mark is on the flex plate. I also went ahead and spun the converter to that position. That way I don't lose time, you know, so yeah. But I'll still go ahead and pull the distributor and stuff to protect it. And then when it's back in, I'll go ahead and put it in before I do anything. Like I say, I don't want to lose time on this. I left this loose, this canister, but I'm going to leave it in there to keep dirt out of it. So yeah. But with all that being said, let's stab this son of a gun. Yeah, let's get her done. I know, real exciting stuff. Park didn't engage all the way, so she rolled a little forward, but we're getting her now. Well, y'all, we're close. Just got to do some jostling around. Looks like it needs to come, the whole apparatus needs to come forward a little bit. I'm close, I just can't see with the sun the way it is. I can't see where my dowel is. I mean, I think I'm there. I think if I could just shove it back just a little bit. Yeah, I'm super close. Okay, yeah, I'm just up a little high with the motor. No problem. Well, maybe. I can't reach the lever and stay in here at the same time. Gentle. Gentle. We're caught on that motor mount too, but I can always deal with that later. All right. All right. I think we're gonna line up, y'all. Have to see. Oh, mercy. Okay. I've got the transmission now tied up against the truck, so I think I can lift the motor just a scotch and it'll go in, hopefully. This is why I take core supports out, so I can have more room to get in there and stuff. Almost. Ooh, okay, I see our problem. The engine decided that the dowel pin wanted to be in the bell housing. Lovely. There we go. That and this picker's a pile of garbage. Close. Where's that dadgum dowel pin? Okay, yeah. It's like I could try to draw it back a little bit, maybe. Oh, lovely. That motor mount's being a problem child. There we go. Maybe. Okay, that motor mount's in. I think that dowel is doing the same crap, trying to get in the transmission. Well, there it goes. Problem is, it's coming out of that frickin' motor mount. Get up on that motor mount. Dang it. Brake hole. It's almost there. That frickin' motor mount would cooperate. Damn it. Now what are you hung on? There. Now if I can get the transmission over. It is right there. It's that stupid dowel pan. The French toast. There. I think that's right. I hope. 'Cause I don't want to do that again. Yeah, we're lined up. Now the thing is, if the motor will come down. Yeah, we're lined up. Definitely gonna have to do some prying and stuff, but we're lined up. Come on. Well, maybe I'll have to do some. Come on, motor, line up in your mount. Go to your home. Come on, go to your home. Okay, that mount's lined up, no problem. It's this little jerk off over here that's not. It's like a half hole off. There we go. Woo! All right. Good deal. Man, what a fighter. What a dadgum fighter. But we got her in. Definitely have to do some footage editing after this, but we got her in. Okay. I'm going to go get some hardware. I'm going to sneak underneath and get it snug down low and get the top bolted up. That's not too exciting for y'all. Then we'll come back and we'll start dressing this thing. Hopefully we can get her wired up and fired up. Alright, y'all. It's starting to get a little dark here. Scary part is it's only a little after 4, but hey, I got all the underside stuff done. That's kind of a pain, but hey, it worked anyway. We got her did. So, with that being said, let's try and get some of this top end stuff done. I don't know that we're going to get her to fire tonight, but we can sure come close. So, let's get started. Alright, y'all, we made a valiant push, but unfortunately, this is where I'm going to have to leave it for today. I was hoping to get it fired up, but we're losing daylight quick, and I don't like to work in the dark, you know, rush around, make mistakes. So, yeah, we'll pick this thing back up tomorrow and hopefully finish her off and hear it bark off. Yeah, I'm excited. Heck yeah, but we did make dang good progress today, so that's always a good thing. So we'll see y'all in the next day or two. Alright, y'all, it's a few days later. Took some time and did some stuff off camera, like the fuel pump and, you know, coil mount, all that kind of stuff. Got it hooked up enough right now. Before I go any farther, I want to hear this thing run. So let's see if we can get her to fire up. Let me cut the key on and we'll go from there. Alright, as you can see, it does crank. Stand by real quick. I forgot my hot button. Alright, y'all. Got everything reset. Let's give this a try. Now, what I'm using here is a weed eater mix. You know, 2-stroke. It's not going to hurt anything, and it'll lubricate the cylinders if nothing else. So, here we go. Probably a little much. It'd be alright. Now, hopefully the fuel pump picks up fuel in short order. Alright, here we go. Are we not getting spark? Let's find out. We are not getting spark. What the heck? I used everything from the truck. It was running. Well, this thing just wants to be stubborn. No spark. Let me double check a couple things. Still no spark. Stand by, y'all. We ain't got no spark. I'm gonna check a couple things, and we'll bring y'all back when we're ready to try again. Alright, y'all, it's got lots of spark now. It had a newer ignition box on there, but I put this old one on there I had, and, well, it seemed to work, so let's give her another shot. Fire in the hole. Alright. Give him a little bit more gasoline. If this don't work, I'm going to go get my acetone bottle and fill the float bowl. Yeah. Yahtzee! All right. We're getting there. That's good. I just wanted to hear this thing pop off. It'll bark to life. It seems like the timing's not that far out either. So that's good. Battery's getting a little low. I haven't ran this thing for a while. I might have to jump it. Hopefully she starts pulling fuel. Whoop. I see fuel, y'all. So it should be running here pretty quick. Again, this is mixed gas, so it's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it's going to lube the cylinders. And we may need to just a tickle. There we go. Yeah, that battery's getting low, y'all. What I'm going to do is bring the other pickup up here and hook a set of jumper cables to it. Stand by. Alright, y'all, let's try this again. Hook the other end of your jumper cable up. plugging down the truck. There we go. Fire in the hole. Let's give her another shot. She'll go. Oops, as I lose my cap. And trust me, if this was my rig, I'd have a mini starter on it. But these old starters just don't crank them that great. That charge just a minute. I'm impatient. Worst case scenario, I take the daily driver battery out and use it. Almost. I think we're getting some gas. Well, y'all, she's rocking and rolling. Steam coming out of there is likely the water that I put in there when I flushed it out, but don't sound too bad. Timing was a little back. I bumped that up, you know, that helped. Battery cables aren't worth a crap, which is why it was also cranking slow. So I'm going to have to get a couple of cheap terminals for him. But yeah, I just wanted to hear this thing rock and roll. Carb is running a bit rich. I'm going to try to do some adjustment on that. Hopefully I don't got to go through it, but it is what it is, you know. So now that we heard it run, I think tomorrow, because it's getting late today and cooling off, tomorrow I think we're going to finish up this thing and hopefully take her for a drive. Yeah, I'll be real happy about that. So yeah, I'm just glad to hear this thing run, but it's definitely loud. And it definitely needs exhaust. I'll definitely hook that up tomorrow before I do anything. But I just wanted a proof of concept that it was going to run before I decided to go any further. And it does. So yeah, we can end today on a win. And we'll pick back up tomorrow when we're doing some more assembly work. So hang on. All right, y'all. As you can see, some things have changed since I last picked the camera up. Yeah, I went ahead and just started steamrolling. Didn't really feel like picking the camera up. As I get in the zone, you know, I start working. And when I start working, you know, things get done faster. So I apologize for that. And yeah, as you can see, we got the alternator on there. We got the fan, power steering, radiator, and I've even bled the cooling system. So yeah, and I did get the exhaust on. And let me tell you what, that was a fighter. So yeah, but she needs a few other things, but for now, I think we can go ahead and take her down the road. Yeah, so that's the plan here. I still need to get that grommet. I'll probably hack it out of the other valve cover since I don't have one. The parts house can't get the correct one in time, so yeah. And I still need to do these dadgum battery cables because, as you saw, we fought them. So yeah. But I've got some new ones for him in the truck. So, but otherwise, this thing's ready to go. For the kickdown, I went ahead and wired it back halfway. I've done that before. The transmission can shift a little funky, but it doesn't hurt them. Like I say, I've done it before with no issues, so it'll be fine for now till I get the right brackets fabricable or found or whatever. You know, I thought I had the right bracket, but I didn't. So, yeah. But everything is pretty well good to go, so let's fire this thing up and take her for a rip. And then we'll close out this video, and then hopefully I can get it sent down the road and get started working on other things. I'm ready. So let's go. All right, let's see if we can get this thing fired up. I'm just going to go my usual route. We're not going to go too far. Like I say, we're just doing a quick test run. And then hopefully I can get it back to him pretty soon. All right, fires right up. I don't know if we're gonna have a heater or not, but I'm gonna try. Because I bypassed the valve. Yeah, it's getting some heat. Not sure how much, but it's worth a shot anyway. 1 second, y'all. I need to see if we've got belts in this bad boy. Give me just 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all, got that baby figured out. It's a little tight, but it's better than not having any at all, you know. A seatbelt saved my life over 20 years ago when I had my first wreck, so I'm never without a seatbelt, but I get it, you know, it's a personal choice. But for me, I always do the belt. So without further ado, let's take this baby for a ride, short ride. Transmission might be a little low, so we'll have to be mindful of that. Alright, here we go. Got a car coming, of course. Looks like it might need some power steering fluid, which I'll have get some. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that transmission's... Okay, yeah, she's shifting good. It's just with that kick down, it's going to be a little revvy. Come on, baby. There we go. Linkage is a little funky. There it went. I think it needs a new bushing. Yeah, she's... Okay, there she went. Yeah, you're going to lag second gear till about 50 miles an hour. Man, the heater works. I'll tell you what, y'all, the heater works. I just hope this thing's got some gas in it. Oh, yeah. Cruising down the road here. Pressure is a little under 50 right now. Got a ton of leaves blowing around. But yeah, heater works. I wired the heater direct. The valve was all messed up when we first tried to get it going for him last winter. So yeah. Yeah, she's running pretty good. The only bad part is temp barely registers on the gauge. I might look into an aftermarket temp gauge for him for this. These electrical gauges, you know, I don't really trust them. Sorry about the bouncy bounce, y'all. I don't really trust them. I've had issues with them reading really low in the past, especially on my 80s trucks, you know. They like to read low, but this one seems to be okay. I mean, pressure's not horrible. It's about 45, you know. It's not the healthiest motor in the world, I know that, but it's way better than what he had. So yeah. I think as long as he keeps his oil checked and everything, I think he'll be good to go. You know. So we'll wait and see. I'm not going to take this thing over like 55 right now. You know, those 410 gears, she's screaming a little bit. But yeah, it seems to run pretty good. Yeah. Car doesn't want to idle. I suspect it might need a kit, but yeah. I think overall, I think we're okay. You know, I think other than putting the hood back on this thing, you know, maybe fix that PCV grommet, of course. I think this thing is good to go back to it. So I think I'm going to pull this thing over there today, and he can finish it, or I can finish it later. But it's good enough for him to drive around town right now, which he doesn't have a vehicle. And I've warned him not to take it on the highway, you know, because he will need a radiator at some point. But yeah, and the brake pedal's a little soft. We might have to put wheel cylinders in it. We did front brake lines and calipers, but somebody's been in the field. All right, well, I'm happy with that so far. Once we turn around and get a good test drive home, I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do a quick spin around here. Yeah, she's idling a little rough. But I think I can finish buttoning a couple things up. I'm hesitant on giving any more timing. Whoa, that transmission did not seem happy there. Huh. That's weird. I do smell a little leakage, but yeah, we're out of power steering fluid. Alright, here we go. There we go. Oh, maybe shift up. Oh, that heater's running me out, y'all. He'll be happy about that. Now I need to test drive mine. I put a thermostat back in my daily driver. So yeah, we got a road trip tomorrow. So yeah, it's been a cold day of working on old junk. unfortunately, winter's here, so ain't much we can do about it, but I'm getting there. You know, I'm getting there. Oh, man. Just a cloudy, dank, dreary day. And I'm a sunshine person. Hang on. Yeah, it seems to be running good. Pressure's to about 40, which, you know, that's fine. That's well within range. You know, I'll check and make sure I haven't got any major leaks or anything, but that's within range. That's well within range. You know, they say 10 psi every 1,000 RPM, you know, so I think we're definitely over that threshold. As long as the feller checks his oil. Love the feller to death. Great friend, awesome person, helps everybody out, but he's not great at checking his fluids. So, yeah, and I told him, you know, if he blows this up, I don't have another engine to give him. So, yeah, he's kind of on his own, but I did the best I could, you know, with what I had, what I didn't have, you know. So, yeah, I can go to bed at night with clear conscience, knowing that this is okay, you know. Any future repairs, you know, that's on him. He knows he's got to get a radiator for it. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to pull in here at the house, and I'm going to see if we can't do an outro. So, hold on. All right, y'all. Post-drive inspection. Yeah, it is cheating out of that hole a little bit. Like I say, I got to plug the grommet. I'll probably hack that out of the valve cover here directly. As far as other leaks, I'm really not seeing a whole ton. Seems like the valve covers wanted to kind of seal up. So yeah, I am going to recommend plugs and wires to him. We just worked with what we had at the time, you know, just to get her running and going. But as far as everything goes, you know, it seems okay. I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that was the successful test drive. Good. I decided to get in here out of the chilly weather. Man, yeah, the old wind's got a little bit of a bite, but I think this guy's ready to be sent down the road other than that grommet, you know, and honestly, he could run it without it. It's just not great, but, you know, I have no issues with it. You know, it's just however he wants to do it. You know, it's not mine. I know how I do it, but, you know. But I think, like I say, I can go to bed with a clear conscience, knowing that I fixed this thing the best I could do, you know, given what I had. And I think it'll get him around town just fine. You know, I'd say stay off the highways till he gets a new radiator for it. You know, we just put this one back in there just because it was there and it does hold coolant, you know. But otherwise, he's good to go. Anyway, sorry I had to make this a three-parter. I'm trying to keep video links to a, you know, less than 5 hours long, you know. Y'all don't want to hear me yap and rant for 5 hours, you know. Well, you never know. Somebody might, but anyway, what's next? I'm not sure. I'm going to do an end of the year video here pretty soon. Want to get going on that, go with some of those projects and actually properly introduce y'all to the new projects. You know, the Chrysler and the Monaco, and we'll go from there, and with the statuses on the 72 Fury and all the rest of my junk, you know. So winter's my slow month, so we'll figure it out. We'll play it all by ear. But anyway, this is Jamie from Real Steel Auto Works, and we'll catch you on the flip side. See ya.